welcome to another session of SLIIT Business School Success Stories. As you all know, that we are bringing to celebrate our own alumni members, like success of our own alumni members and share their experience. So today we have our own alumni member, Chathuri Rajasinghe with us. So Chathuri, welcome and thank you for accepting our invitation today. And Chathuri, can you do a small introduction about yourself, like how you proceeded at SLIIT and how your journey so far? Thank you, Chathuri.
Soon after A-levels, I had the clear vision of I won't be going to a state university, so I'll be proceeding with a private university. So I had that clear idea in my head, but I actually didn't have much of an idea what sort of a university I'll be selecting. So my parents actually came forward and guided me for that. So they have given me the options, like some of the options, so then I could pick. So I actually wanted to proceed with the SLIIT because I felt like it is very convenient for me. Travel wise and everything, and also the course wise, it covered all the areas that I wanted to focus after my for my higher studies. So that is actually the first and the most important step I actually selected to be a part of SLIIT.
Right. So today you are working at today you are working at the Samsons and Sons Private Limited as a brand manager. So can you just elaborate more on that, how you are, how SLIIT helped you to become where you are today, and how you started your journey like in your corporate career?
Yes. So back then I was very introvert kind of a person. So building the personality wise, being at SLIIT helped me a lot. Is myself also as a person. So we had lots of sessions. Business undergraduate, we had to make sure that we work with every batchmate of our group. So giving that exposure so that we can learn from other people and also discover ourselves, what are our strengths, what are our abilities, where we want to improve and everything. So likewise, so after the 2 solid years that we have, gathering all the knowledge, going through all the aspects of the management and everything. So also especially the guidance that is provided by our lecturers and professors. So it really helped us to find our path in our career placements. So for me, it was a self-assessment of my own strengths and what I wanted to achieve in my life. So altogether, and with the proper guidance from our members and also the lecturers, so I selected this marketing field because I was in kind of a thing when I wanted to do something, I wanted to be more creative. So I wanted to meet lots of people, get more exposure and everything. So I felt like marketing is the field that I should select because it gathers lots of, gives lots of experience and exposure so that you can leverage your skills and abilities and everything else. So especially when it comes to the brand management, I think I should thank a few of my professors back then at SLIIT, especially Mr. Kinsley, who was in charge of the brand management back then. So actually he guided me properly. Even though that you're following the marketing, you have this ability, especially for the brand management, so to focus on that area much. So by the time I was there at SLIIT, so I could build my appetite towards this brand management. So he told me what sort of things to follow and everything. So that's how me today in this brand management position. So that's how it is groomed. So it is a collective effort from myself, my parents.
How did this degree program help you to become a successful industry profession? How the degree program helped you?
Yeah, so in our degree program, I was, I had my double degrees. So like the first 3 years, I had the exposure of having the every aspect. Like being a manager is not, if you have a particular subject specification is not enough. You have to know everything around because it contributes to your company, your processes and everything. So from the solid understanding and the background that we had in the first 3 years, it helped us to leverage that after that point, what sort of things that we need to be focused, especially focused on. So likewise, the course, if you take the quality of the course and everything, it was very solid and very comprehensive and cohesive. So it was always up to the industry standards. It was always be on the trend and everything. So like we could grab the latest knowledge. We could exposed to new arenas of experiences and everything with the this coursework actually. And also even also the assessments that we followed, it was up to industry standards. So like most of the assignments that we did also are like marketable materials to the companies. So like we could closely work with lots of companies, lots of new societies, new groups. Likewise, like the entire, it's not just like just an education, but overall grooming. Like I can remember lots of things was there. Like apart from the studies, we were allowed to do lots of things, like very extracurricular activities, which adds value to us as persons and everything. So I think the nourishment that we had in working, studying at SLIIT could groom us for our career and also in the personal life.
Yes, exactly. Especially with the culture and the exposure that we getting from the SLIIT is important. Yes, even I have seen like a lot of the SLIIT undergraduates and the graduates are performing really well in industry. Yes, I do 100% agree with you on that, Chathuri. And like today, you are a successful person in the field of brand management. So what advice you would like to give you for the undergraduates and the younger who started their career in SLIIT?
Yes. So first, you should have slight understanding about what sort of person you wanted to be in the future. So that understanding is really important, because finding a university, if that place is helping you to achieve that, so that is important thing. So that for me, I had that understanding from the very beginning. So with all the experience and exposure with the people that I associate and everything, with the university especially, so that I could achieve that very fast. So having that understanding and having a good goal for yourself is really important. And also because of the, I had the privilege of having this experience and exposure with the top professors and everybody, because they are very helpful for if they notice you that you are working very hard working and kind of a thing, so that you will get their attention, and also they will give your help support throughout your degree program. So likewise, I can remember Mr. Kinsley was there, throughout this process, helping and grooming us. Especially, I think everybody has that kind of an exposure with different professors and lecturers. So thing. So why don't you follow graphic designing as well. So like I didn't have much of an idea back then why he's telling me to follow the graphic designing, because I felt like there's no connectivity between those two back then. But I mean, like, then when I came into the industry, I felt like, oh my god, what he said was true, because it goes hand in hand. Like, you have some concept in your mind, but you have to make sure that you put it to a material. So how you do it through that, like, graphic designing helps you a lot. So like simple facts like that, simple advices, you always have to rely on them, because they are from experts, that they know what's going on with the things. So like, I'm like, they are grooming us, they are make sure that they prepare ourselves for that challenge in our career. So I mean, like, that is something I have learned from I mean, like, that is something hard hit on me. I mean, like, those experience and their knowledge is something really that you can value, and it will add lots of, I mean, value to your life when you're proceeding with your career. So, and also the constant guide from them. I mean, it's not just something like, I mean, we cannot just like focus on one area, but I think the facilities that they provide, if we grasp the opportunities and everything and build good contacts with the outside world, like if you are given an assignment or something, so like if we go to a company and do an interview, get the hands-on experience of those companies, so bringing that contact and also make sure that we use that contact for the betterment of the ourselves and also the for SLIIT is very important. So because it builds some connection between those two parties, and also it will give benefits for us, building good connections for ourselves and also for our small, I mean, like the following batchmates as well. So yeah, so that's all I think.
Right. So what you advise, like, is have the connection, like always get the guidance from the lecturers. Okay, so we get updated with the current knowledge, right? So these are the main factors that you have, explained for our undergraduates, right? Perfect, Chathuri. And then like, if you look at today's job market, careers are not linear anymore, right? So how did you prepare yourself to face such challenging jobs?
Yes, so I had this challenge for myself, because if you look into my profile, so I was always in the process of like the brand building and management and the marketing communication. But when I'm leveraging my job, so I had to make sure that with the volatile industry, the environment, so most of the advertising, the marketing efforts were not aligned traditionally, so it was now more digitalized and everything. So like having that exposure is really important. Like as I said earlier, the graphic design is something that is not relevant to your field, but it supports your job. So likewise, and also learning little things which caters to your day-to-day life and day-to-day work life is really important. And also like be aware of the new trends, what is happening in your field, and have that appetite to learn and leverage your knowledge to make sure that you are resourceful is really important. Because I mean, for me, even though my field is this, so with the process I have to learn about the production. So because like I was dealing with lots of agencies and everything, so the network is really important because it gives you much of resources, and it's a very good learning point. So I mean, like with throughout this working with the agencies and everything, so I have learned about the productions, how the advertising is working and everything. So it helped me throughout my career, because like knowing everything will added you benefits, because sometimes you're managing something for a company, so you have to make sure that you know about everything, so it will benefit your company. And the other point, like you cannot you will be a resourceful person for them. So have a curiosity is something really important that you have to maintain when you're becoming a manager, and also unlearn the processes. Sometimes you are maybe very thorough of something, but sometimes you have to make sure that you unlearn it and relearn things that you already know. That is something also very important. And also have an eye on what is happening around you, and be aware of trends, be aware of the threats, be aware of opportunities that you can have. So that is really important that you have a vigilant mind.
Right, perfect. Thank you, Chathuri. Thank you for the wonderful explanation. And Chathuri, like now, as we discussed earlier, also today's job market is very competitive, and there are so many good opportunities as well. So, what impresses you the most when you are considering hiring someone? Like, as in, what qualities a candidate should have to stand out of from the other job applicants, according to your experience?
Yeah, I mean, like if we take 10 candidates for a job, most of them are having the degrees, most of them are having like the highest qualifications that you can have asked for. But when it comes to an interview or something, like what we actually look is their attitude, whether they are a good fit for our culture, if that person has something to give, also to take from us. Those are the few qualities that we are looking when we are hiring somebody. It's not just like, as I mean, like from my personal experience, I mean, even though I have all these qualifications lined, nobody cared about it when I came for the interview. I mean, like it will only just help for the screening process. But when you face an interview, what we look is like whether this person is competent, whether that person have the right attitude to do and perform in this job, and how good he will be a suitable fit for the company, and what are their goals, what are their personal goals, how that they can contribute to the company. So those are the things. I mean, like apart from just your like be good on paper is not enough, but how you put yourself and how enthusiastic you are. Those are the things that I'm specifically looking into when I'm hiring a person. Kasun, I can't hear you again.
Yes, I'm sorry, Chathuri. So thank you for the wonderful explanation again, because I hope, like, as you mentioned, right attitude and how you present yourself in an interview is very important. And I hope you will give, our undergraduates the opportunity to join with, the organization that you are working in. And thank you, Chathuri. And yes, we have a few more questions, Chathuri. And like, how has branding and marketing changed in last 5 years according to your experience especially in the branding and the marketing industry? And what do you predict will happen in the next 5 to 10 years according to your experience and according to your the vision?
So the changes that is there in the market, specifically related to the brand management and marketing. I mean, we have. I mean, like there is a very unpredictable situation, unpredictable market we are experiencing right now, because with the situation earlier, I mean, like we can look back to 5 years records and analyze, and we can look into the new trends in the market, and we can actually draw our plans. Normally that's how we do things in a normal environment, normal context. But now it is very volatile, so that we cannot exactly plan for a bigger future. So like everything that we actually don't plan for like lesser than 6 months that we are planning, and also have a very contingent plan always for ourselves, and making ourselves prepared for what will be coming. So we actually do not know much. So it is always a process that we have to learn while we are working at this process. So I mean, like with this drastical changes currently, so there's like movement for the digital, aspect, especially relating to, I mean, like, even though we are taking the advertising, even we are aligning most of our budgets to digital platforms and everything, I think nowadays there's some space available for the digital marketing specialists. Like, I mean, like, there are lots of opportunities available in this segment, because now the company is moving to there. I mean, like, even though the companies earlier processed with lots of like traditional marketing aspects, now they're moving to the digital aspect. So like, there are some companies still who are following the traditional work processes. Now only they are transforming their procedures and practices to the digital platform. So I mean, like, I can see a huge space available for the digital marketing specialists who are working in this digital space. So there's lots of opportunities available. I mean, like, for our planning and everything, mostly we are following very contingent approach, because the market is very volatile. And earlier we could I mean, like, forecast about the behavior patterns, the consumer psychology and everything, somewhat aligned, or we can see a pattern. But here, that we have a very unpredictable market. So when you are offering something, we have to make sure that the offering is very customized, and also it is, I mean, like, the decisions that we have to take very fast. I mean, because it's very volatile. So one thing that we are setting plans for next 5 years and executing it with this process, it won't work. So we'll have to be vigilant with this situation and make sure that we have an understanding about what's going on in the market, and plan accordingly and act quickly is something that we are focusing on right now.
Yes, you have to be reactive and proactive with the market trends, and you
Yes.
need to move forward. Yes, exactly. So, Chathuri, one more question, like regarding the same topic. So, how do you stay updated on the latest tools and trends? And what is the biggest challenge in the branding and marketing industry at the moment?
Yes. So as I said earlier, like, even though that you know this space, but always make sure that you unlearn what you have learned, and relearn is really important with this kind of current situation. Because, like, if we take the digital aspects, it's always changing, so we have to keep on updating ourselves. If you know ourselves that we have lacked something, so we always have to make an extra effort to find out what's there, what's available. So like, reading and being up with all the trends that is available in the market, and also like lots of case studies. Sometimes for in Sri Lanka, it's something that we are experiencing now. It has, I mean, like, from another country, it is already experienced, so they have known what is going through, and likewise. So referring to the case study is something that I personally do when learning and everything. And also I mean, like, refer to the network that I have, since I was working with lots of companies, lots of industries, lots of agencies. So like, the network actually is something that is very resourceful to learn something if you don't know, and to leverage your knowledge and expand your exposure in those fields. So like, keeping up to date with all the trends is really important. So that is as a manager, because like, we cannot just be in a situation and say like that we know everything. If that's it happened, like, there will be lots of, because here this kind of a market has lots of competition, I mean, like, for the brand managers and everything. So like, if you cannot be a person who's irreplaceable, like, so if you won't be a resource person for a company, so I mean, like, there are lots of people to take over your jobs. So like, wise, I mean, like, be updated always is really important for you yourself as well. So yeah, so those are the things. I think the case study is something that is very good to follow it up, because it gives you really wild examples.
All right. Understand, Chaudhary. So, So you have explained like wonderfully regarding the current challenges, what as the undergraduates or the graduates, what should they do, how they start, and etc. So yes, Chathuri, so we discussed about the market and your experience and all, right? So I need to know about more into the personal branding and what are the benefits of personal branding and stuff. So Chathuri, tell me about your personal brand.
So I have joined to this industry, I mean, like through the brand management field very young. Like I was when I had my first job, I was even not graduated. I think like I was like 6 months ahead of time to be graduated. So so when I had my placement first, so I had always have the curiosity mind, and I always made a to make it a point to ask, learn about the things that I do not know, and to experience myself. So likewise then, I mean, like as a personality trait also, that's something that I have built myself. Like I'm a person who's like workaholic, also like somebody who's competent and could be a challenge to I mean, like a very challenging person. So, and also I had this thing like when I was working earlier, I had the placement in a very male dominant industry. So because I was working for the Apico hybrid water tank brand, which was like in the hardware sector. So it was very male dominant industry back then. So I doubted myself, like how I could survive in this kind of a company, how could I be up, likewise. So I had this doubt about myself also. But when I was working, and I mean, like I could make sure that it's not just like it's just a stereotype, but if you put yourself to what you do, and if you try to be ahead of like do something better, maybe like you have to prove yourself, you have to take an extra effort proving yourself to the company or the people that you're working with. But if you learn something and we make sure that you have a good work practice, work ethics, and if you could recognize yourself, if you can establish yourself as a very competent person, so that's why I could succeed in that also. I mean, like even then after I was working for hotel industry, so my parents was not happy when I got the placement, because like it was very challenging job for a girl. So but I mean, like you have to have an understanding about yourself, what you can do, and also having the confidence is something that could drive me as I mean, like building my own I mean, like establish myself in this industry. So likewise, and also like the contacts and everything that you have, so that you can actually prove yourself what sort of a person you are. And then that's how others recognize you as a person, how with your qualities and everything. So that's form you for a with a good personal branding.
Right. Thank you so much, Chathuri, for the wonderful explanation again. So yes, we have a few questions like from you, because you are, with your experience and the knowledge, I think our undergraduates and the graduates, can gain more, can, learn more. So Chathuri, yes, I have a few questions for you. So yes, my next question is, what are the benefits of personal branding according to your knowledge, Chathuri?
So about the personal branding, I think, I mean, like it's about how you identify yourself among a group of people, right? So like, I mean, for me, how it helped me is like to build my networks, like even though like even if I make sure that I become a person who's recommendable, because I think for me I have built my personal branding for with the confidence that I have, and also being a පොඩි මේ එකක් තියනවද glitch එකක් sorry
නෑ අවුල පුළුවන් ආයෙ පටන්
නෑනේ.
ගන්න ඕන නම් personal branding එකේ ඉඳලා
හරි. Okay. We'll go.
Kasun, you can start.
Right. So my next question is, what are the benefits of personal branding, according to your knowledge, Chathuri?
So for me it was how I put myself. I mean, like how sort of a person when I'm in the working culture and everything, so that it counts for me when forming my own personal branding. So like the benefits is like that you become a person more noticeable among yourself, among the group that you're working with. So like you have lots of possible opportunities available, like if you are to, I mean, like to introduce to something. So like if the other people know that you are the best fit for that, so I mean, so you would get that opportunity, so to have the experience and exposure in different arena or something like that. And also you become a person who's recommended by others for like to do or perform a special task or something like that. And also like you can put yourself in a demanding position, like if you're good at something, so that you can always demand, so that you have lots of opportunities available, sometimes maybe not in your company itself, so in the outer world, or like if you wanted to stay in your own company, so you become a resourceful person for them, so you know your value and everything, so like people will reluctant to lose you. So so likewise, I mean, like lots of, I mean, like when you can demand yourself also. And also, I mean, like it is a good point to build contacts with people, because like if you have a good rapport in the society, I mean, like the work society, so like people will always want to be a part of you, working with you and everything. So likewise, I think having a good rapport for yourself is benefiting you as a person, building your connections and getting more exposure with other companies, with other people. And also you can become yourself a resource person for your company, for the people that you're working with. Likewise, so I think becoming a very noticeable person is very important, especially in this field, because like everything is driven through the contacts and also the experience that you have and also your achievements. So like when you become a very recognizable person, so like the companies, like even, I mean, like sometimes you just don't want to follow an opportunity. That opportunity will come to you like through the headhunters and everybody like that. So like, I mean, like becoming yourself very spotlight, putting yourself to the spotlight with your work, with how you carry yourself, how you respond to situation is really important. So it will always benefit you.
Okay, Chathuri, wonderful. And Chathuri, can you hear me?
Yeah, all good now.
Okay. So, do you think the idea of personal branding is commonly misunderstood?
I mean, if I'm referring to my own experience, I think in the marketing field it is not, because like everybody has, because this is an industry that is driven through the experience, the networks, and also your caliber and everything else. So, but I mean, like in general, I think yes, it is. Because it is really important how you carry yourself, how you respond to a situation, how you talk with somebody else, like how you actually behave in this in a specific environment. So it counts. So, and also like for me, referring to my own personal experience, like I'm kind of a very small made person. So like always when I went to some place, I was always being judged with my the body size and everything. So like people like think, okay, then when you're identified as a brand manager, so how she become a brand manager, like you are always referred to as a kid. But with your work, with the effort that you put in, with your achievements, and that's what it grooms you, like that what you can actually showcase to your the people who's watching you. So that is really important. Like, it's not just like something out of it, and sometimes it will be different from person to person. For me, it's always how much effort and love that I put into my work and how I achieve things, and from that I become an identified person through my work. For somebody else, it will be like very outgoing person, how well that you can connect with the person. So likewise, according to different personal traits, it will be different. So like, identify your best quality and putting the best strength forward and build a good brand for yourself is really important. Otherwise, I mean, like, and you can take other part, like how you, I mean, like some personal traits, how you can improve that, so it will benefit your main strength. So I mean, likewise, you can actually build. It's not much of a big deal when you know what to play with, what you have. So like, I think just give it a thought is enough, so that you can become a good identified person.
Right. Yes, very clear, Chathuri. Yes. And Chathuri, now since you came to a wonderful journey from the very beginning, so what would you tell people to focus on as a starting point?
I mean, for me, I mean, like, in my career, I mean, like, even in my studies first, when I focus on something, I gave my 100% for it. Like, I could remember from the first 2 years, I actually didn't want to work in a place because I wanted to make sure that I build a solid foundation. But it's not the case with everybody else. Like, you have to make sure that what are the things that you have to deal with and how best you are dealing with. Like, identifying that is really important. And also, when it comes to the career, I mean, like, we soon after we graduate, when we go to our first placement in a job or something, like, we actually do not know how much of things that we have to do, and we are actually very primitive with the experience and everything. We are very amateur. So having an open mind about the things happening around you, and also having a very curiosity upfront mindset is really important, so that you can learn a lot of things. So like, and also like accepting the challenges that is given, and is really important, because like, if you like deny all the challenges that I mean, like, for me, it was a deep end dive from the very beginning, because I mean, like, I was treated as not just like an amateur person when I was having my first placement. So I had to be in like work as a very experienced person, figure out things by myself. But the good thing is, like, when you're starting in your early career, like when you're especially finding a job for yourself, you have to make sure that it is a good placement for you. Like, whether that place gives you, nurture you with experience, with that the team that you are having will be a supportive team likewise. So for me, I mean, it doesn't I was so blessed to be in a place like that. So it helped me to groom myself in the earlier career stage, so that I could use that experience to groom myself going forward with my career. So I mean, like, having an open mindset and be vigilant about what is happening around you, and also having a very having the curiosity forward mind is really important when you are starting off a career.
Yes, right. So we have discussed a lot about the personal branding, and especially branding and the marketing. What are the trends? What should improve, and what are your experiences and all? So Chathuri, I have one more question for you. So what do you focus on for the development of your own personal brand?
Yeah. So I mean, as I said earlier, for me, figuring out, like, I have a better understanding about, I mean, like, with the experience, that is something that I have gathered. I have an understanding what sort of a person I should be established I mean, I have a goal for that. So like for that, how I groom myself, how I present myself, what sort of things that I should be enriched with, that is something that I came with the self-evaluation and learning about myself throughout working all these years. So to become a person I mean, like that is also aligned with my career goals. So how to make sure that I give that message and passing my goal, also like having that goal communicated through my work society is really important. Like that's why when I was like, also if you look into my profile, like it is, even though it's aligned in the field of brand management, so I have the different exposure in different fields. So like, so because it is aligned with my end goal when it comes to the work. So as I wanted to become a consultant, so just having a knowledge in one particular industry is not enough for me. So likewise, so I have to gather lots of knowledge to make sure that I put myself in a very uncomfortable situation sometimes to learn things, to grasp the knowledge. Likewise, so I think grooming myself for that end goal today, and how I communicate it to my work society so that I can get the help, so I can establish myself as a person that who will become a consultant one day. So she is actually gathering that knowledge and experience. Likewise, so it was really important. I mean, like when I'm going for an interview, or like when I'm going for a replacement or something, so that always people questioned why you are in different fields. So that's my answer. I mean, like that is my end goal, so that's why I wanted to achieve. So having a great understanding about you, what you wanted to achieve, and how you groom yourself to become that person, and how you wanted to be identified in the industry is really important. So working towards it, having a good goal in your mind, and simply communicate it well among your work society is really important.
Right. Okay. Thank you, Chathuri, for the wonderful and insightful and informative session. I think you have shared with us a wonderful experience and your knowledge, throughout the session. So I think all of us can, gain and get more knowledge and the experience from your, the story and your experiences. And thanks again, Chathuri. So I think now we are in the end of the session, and we hope you will support us, you will support our undergraduates and the graduate in the future in order to build their careers in the areas of the marketing and the brand management. And yes, thanks again, Chathuri, and we'll see you all in another session of SLIIT Alumni Success Stories. And until that, thank you so much. Have a great day ahead.
Thank you for having me, Kasun. And it is really a great privilege for me to be in this session today. And I wish you all the very best. I mean, especially SLIIT, it is always in my heart. I mean, all the people, that everybody, it's really close to me. So I wish all the very best for SLIIT, and also it is a great place to be, because like we all are here today because thanks to all the exposure that we got from SLIIT. So I mean, like I wanted to pass this message to all the people who are looking forward to start their higher education. I mean, like quality and everything, that there's no compromise with that. I mean, like it's a great place to be and to start off your higher education. So thank you so much for having me for this session, and we'll see you all very soon.
Right. Thank you so much, Chathuri.
Thank you.